Howdy, just wanted to talk a little bit about sustainability this morning. We're out here in the Mojave Desert, out on our property that's going to become the Sustainable Learning Center, and just had a great opportunity this summer. We went to, took a group of students to Costa Rica, really good group. I think they learned a lot, I learned a lot, and just a lot about sustainability and seeing it through their eyes. And after that, went to New Zealand and Australia to visit family and look at sustainability there, specifically look at how the city of Christchurch is trying to recover after having all their infrastructure basically destroyed. So what I think I've learned about sustainability this year is it's just really simple. It's just the fact, what it is that I think we'd lost the hope that we could set up a system, a human development system is really what it is, that balances things properly so that we can leave hope for our children. We can leave future for our children and our grandchildren. And you know, we live in the first world with just so much, and I think, you know, we just need to take the responsibility for that. So, you know, what does that hope look like? Well, you know, having grown up in South Africa, it's a hope that you won't be persecuted. Persecuted for how you look, how you think, your spiritual beliefs. And that's what I just love about the United States, is that we have this constitution in place, we have a democracy in place that allows people this freedom of decision, and they're just not persecuted for these things. I don't think things are equal, and that's such a tough thing to achieve, but I think people do have equality of opportunity. I think they face challenges. I think different ethnic groups do face greater challenges. So that's really the main hope. I'm particularly sensitive to that, having grown up in South Africa during the apartheid period, and just the fact that it just broke my heart that a grown Zulu man would have a thing called a dompas, which is really says it all. Dompas, a really dumb pass. That's not actually its true meaning, but it just basically said that I think after 6 o'clock he couldn't be out unless he showed his dompas. In fact, in cities they weren't even allowed to be out in society. So just crazy stuff, and have just been so incredibly blessed to live here in the United States, where we're working at that. It's imperfect, we're working at that. Another hope that I think our children need, and that we all strive for, and the first world has, but the third world or the developing world doesn't have, is this hope for meeting our basic needs, our food, our water, our clean air. Out here in the Mojave Desert this morning, just an absolutely beautiful day, looking out on all this. We have all those things, and we have them in spades. In fact, we don't even know how to manage them. Another thing is freedom to raise a family, and because that's just a core thing that we're all wired for, that we need to raise children that understand this world, have respect for it, and have a future. Another thing would be hope for education. Education is the glue that holds us all together. We're not going to understand the components of sustainability. We talk about the financial sphere. We need a healthy financial sphere. We need a healthy social sphere. And then we need a healthy environmental sphere or natural sphere. So if you imagine, we've got these three balls floating up here in the air, and we've got to bring them together. We've got to balance them to reach sustainability, which is this hope for the children that they'll have a way of life that is equal to ours or better. I don't like the word lifestyle, because it focuses back onto more, I think, for most people, back to consumerism and some of the problems where we've been so focused on consumerism, the money side of things, and not a way of life that's satisfying and where we can give back and serve others and raise our kid. So my hope is that I can have an impact, we can have an impact through these videos, through the Sustainable Learning Center site, by having trainings here at the center, we can have a hope that I can share and we can share some of the concepts of sustainable development, because the third world, the developing world, really told us this a few years ago. They said, hey guys, this really happened at the Sustainability Summit in Johannesburg. President Mbeki, who succeeded Mandela, basically said there that we can't have islands of wealth surrounded by seas of poverty. Basically what he continued to say is we need to have a balance here. We need to make sure that the rest of the world has a future. We can't be going into certain areas, Africa where my heart particularly is, and just pillaging their resources, whether it's lumber, whether it's diamonds, whether it's other kinds of natural resources, and not leaving something behind for them in terms of a balanced social structure, a balanced financial structure where they have employment and they have the financial means to do what they need to do, and they have a healthy environment.
Trade-off. So what we're talking about here is sustainability in context. Here we are looking out over the Mojave Desert, looking back up towards Barstow. We're just right outside Apple Valley. In fact, it's just over that hill over there. But we're in a very pristine little raised riverbed here, an old wash, a raised wash. And what are some of the context here? What are some of the challenges? Well, if we look in here, we've got really what we're part of. This is the straw bale house, the Sustainable Learning Center we're going to build down here. That's going to be off the grid. But urban sprawl, is this the way to go, or do we want to be more focused? We still get all kinds of wildlife here, bobcats, and even saw a mountain lion through here a little while ago, but does this urban sprawl break up the environment to where these animals that need a bigger habitat, it's being disturbed? Another one in the context of where we're working here that we need to balance is people getting out and enjoying nature in the terms of riding on their off-road vehicles. If we look on that hill over there, there are a bunch of tracks where people are doing hill climbs. They're going off the trails. So another thing is how do we live more sustainably in terms of our energy requirements? If you look down there, you can actually hear the generator going. That's our well down there, and we're pumping our own water. I'm using gasoline today to pump that. In contrast to that, if we look up here, those are the solar panels, and the inverter is right there in the container. So what we're talking about here is putting people back in the middle of this conversation about human development. How do we move forward? How do we balance things better? Who gets to do the trade-offs and how? To do that, I think the first thing we have to do is set up social structures that really work. I think we've lost so much faith in our political systems, our government systems, and our economic systems. And even our scientific systems. I think we don't really trust people anymore, and I think part of that is understandable. Our financial system, our banks crashed, apparently for reasons of greed. Our scientists are under fire. I teach this stuff, so I see this specifically in the conversation about global warming, and so there's a lot of distrust. So we have to set up systems where we re-engage people, they take responsibility, and we set up systems where their ideas and their thinking is respected, and they feel like they can be innovative, they can recreate, they can do something of significance. So how do we do that? I think we do that through teaching and how we set up educational models. I'm a big believer in experiential learning, in other words, having people experience things, and that's why we do trips, and that's what this facility here at the Sustainable Learning Center is going to be, is a place people can come and re-engage, a place that's peaceful, but they can also learn the skills that they need to go out and help themselves and help others. I mean, we've got a society that people don't even really know how to use a hammer anymore. They can re-engage with this incredible natural environment because I think we're wired that way. I think we need to understand it and engage with it, and if we don't, we're not going to care about it.